What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is Arrow Season 3 for Episode 3, Restoration. I'm tired. Really tired. It's probably going to be my last review for the night. So yeah, this one was fairly interesting. One of the biggest problems I have with this episode is that it really shows that right now the show is kind of confused. It really doesn't know if it should take itself very seriously or not take itself seriously at all. I know that sounds weird to, just say like that, but I mean, honestly, just some of the stuff in this show is so not silly, but kind of out there as far as, like, I don't know. Let me try to explain it the best I can. So you've got the serious part of this episode, which is Laurel and Thea both go to Nanda Parbat. Laurel takes Sarah's body with her, thinking, okay, we can revive her in the Lazarus pit. So that's kind of the mindset is if she can be revived in the Lazarus pit, she can be brought back to life. And Thea is going because she's dealing with the bloodlust and she can't get rid of it. So they both get solutions to their problems, but not what they were hoping for. Thea was hoping for a cure, to which Malcolm says there is no cure, and kind of forces her to kill two of the guys from the League. And he says, well, that will cure your bloodlust for a couple weeks, but after that, you're going to want to have to kill again. And then for Sarah's, for Laurel's idea for Sarah, Malcolm originally says no because she's dead. Thea was only half dead. Princess Bride, if you haven't seen that movie. No, it's not half dead anyway, it's like almost dead. I can't remember now, I'm too tired. Anyway, but no, he says Thea was not all the way dead, Sarah is, so it's going to have a different effect on her. And it's only been done like once before, and that was in Legend. So ultimately they do bring her back to life, but she is just completely gone, according to Malcolm. In fact, at one point he tells her, Thea was not all the way dead when she went through this. This is a different circumstance. You need to prepare yourself for the worst. So kind of curious to see where it goes, but Nyssa is completely against this idea. I think I said something about this, how it's interesting to see Laurel be the one to decide this. We find out why Nyssa didn't want to do it, because apparently this is going to have a very, very bad effect on Sarah. So, it's kind of interesting to see her actually be extremely upset that Sarah's brought back to life at all. And to the point where she says H.I.V.E apparently gave her a means to destroy the Lazarus pit to where they can't be used anymore. So now it's done. Like, the Lazarus pit is no more. That's kind of interesting. The fact that it's not available anymore, that means that, the grave that Oliver's standing next to at the end of this, or that we saw at the beginning of the season, they're dead. Like, you can't bring them back now because the Lazarus pit is done. So, that's interesting, despite the fact that I'm yawning. But like I said, the biggest problem that I have with this is that whole part of the show is very serious. It's very grim, and not a lot of jokes being made. You cut over to the other side, you've got a guy grabbing tattoos of cards off his arm and just throwing them as weapons. I mean, it's very strange. And aside from that, some of the jokes that are being made are just very cheesy. Like, you've got earlier in the episode, John's talking about, I would have taken a bullet for you. Now I don't know anymore. It ends with Oliver taking a playing card to the chest, for John. It's like, you took a bullet from me. Well, actually, it was a playing card that came off of a guy's tattooed arm. Like, that is extremely cheesy. Just the way they handled it. And I'm just like, really? Like, this show did that? I don't know what to think of it, because if it's on The Flash, I'm laughing because it's like, I get it. He took a bullet for him. It was a playing card. But because it's Arrow, I'm like, they don't make jokes like this. That's not a part of this show. What is going on? It's like the tone just changed for a moment. And beyond that, most of this episode is exactly kind of what I was complaining about earlier, in that, we see this side of Diggle that he finally explains his frustration that he crossed the line. And like I said before, and even Felicity says later on, you're supposed to be, more evolved than my boyfriend. It's kind of pretty much what I was saying, in that, yeah, you're supposed to be more mature than Oliver. Oliver was lying because he doesn't know how to handle it. Other than that, that's what he learned on on Lian Yu. That's what he learned to do there. That's what he learned working for Amanda Waller. He learned to lie to keep others safe, to keep himself safe. You don't do that. So all this lying that you're doing, the frustration that you feel, this unwillingness to forgive him, it's like, it's not Diggle's character. So that finally gets revealed in this episode. They finally work through it, but this whole episode just felt like it's been too long in coming. I had to wait way too long for this. So I don't know. This episode was very strange. Like, there were moments where I was like, okay, yeah, that's interesting, and then there were moments where I'm like, this is the most I've ever yawned in a review. I'm fairly certain. Let's see. Other interesting things to talk about, though. You've got Diggle finding out about the woman who hired Deadshot to kill his brother. It's just, whenever he found that out, I'm like, okay, so he's finally gonna get some answers. And then she dies. Like, Dark kills her, and I'm like, wow. So now he has no more clues. Which, of course, Oliver replies with, you've been doing this alone for 2 years. Now you're not alone anymore. So, obviously, despite the fact that the woman who hired Deadshot is now dead, they're still going to find some way to do it. And, work around it and blah, blah, blah. All that fun stuff. If you can call it fun now. I don't think I've talked much about the flashbacks yet in this season yet. The flashbacks are so far. Where the flashbacks were actually my favorite part from most of the first 3 seasons, the flashbacks now kind of seem, I don't know. It's hard to describe. We're nearing the end of Oliver's 5-year journey. He's back on Lian Yu, but now he's working with these guys that apparently Amanda Waller sent him in to work with them. And yet, aside from the fact that he's actually working with them now, at the end of this episode, he kind of turns against them while still trying to convince them that he's working for him, and it's becoming very complicated. The plot's kind of lost me there now. Where the last few seasons felt like it connected to our story now, this season feels like there's not a lot of connection going on. Like, season 2 was mostly about Slade, him and the Mirakuru formula, because that's what was going on in season... No, wait. Yeah, that's what was going on in season 2. We were learning about the Mirakuru formula, and the Mirakuru soldiers. Slade is back in town. In the first season, didn't connect as well, but we got to start to learn what happened to Oliver on the island. That was fun to see at first. Season 3, we got to meet, what's his name? Maseo. We met Maseo in the flashbacks, and then he became a part of the season later on for the League of Assassins. This one, it just feels like there's no connection. It feels like he's just working with these random people out of nowhere. They're forcing these people to work for him to create drugs. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it connects very well. So maybe it will later on, but for now, I'm just kind of watching it going, this is not exactly the best flashback scenes that we've had before. So, I also have not talked about Damien Dark that much. This episode kind of made me realize, so far, he's my favorite part of the season. I don't know how many, obviously I'm not sure how many people are actually going to watch this video, but if you are watching this video, if you've seen Justified, he was probably the most memorable of the one season characters that they had on Justified. Justified was this really awesome show on FX about a marshal who was trying to deal with all of this stuff in Harlan County in Kentucky. Like all the drug deals, all this stuff gone wrong. And he was just this badass that, shot first, asked questions later. Well, actually, shot first and never asked questions. In one of the seasons, the guy that plays Damien Dark was on there, and he was the most he left an impression because of how just disgusting and evil and just downright chill-inducing he was. There was a scene where he's walking into a bathroom naked, and there's just this kid in there, and you close the door and infer what just happened. Like, that was the kind of character he was, and it just made you sick to think about. But the one thing that always stood out to him about me, though, is that whenever he wasn't in that, disgusting mood, whenever he was talking to people and just, acting like a normal guy, he always had this demeanor about him. It's the same demeanor that Damien Dark has. That it always felt like he was in control of the situation. Aside from when he was talking to Anarchy and he was getting upset there, he's always felt in control of a situation. The look on his face whenever whenever he catches the card with his whatever mysticism that he uses, and he's talking to the Fayad lady, and he's tossing it around, people think I'm a charlatan, that this is all just a cheap trick. Whoosh! And throws it into her neck. The way he talks and the way he handles himself is just, I enjoy it. He is easily my favorite part of the season so far. He brings something to the show that we haven't really had before. Ra's al Ghul was intimidating. Slade was a bit crazy. He's a bit of both. He's intimidating and he's crazy too. You can kind of sense this. He's on the tip of insanity. Push him off and he's gone. He's just into the depths of insanity. So I'm excited to see where they go with this character because I really do enjoy watching it whenever he's on screen. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. The one guy that works in the office at Palmer Tech, he now knows that Felicity works with the Green Arrow. I kind of understand it. It's on the one hand, at some point I figured he was going to figure out. On the other hand, I didn't think it was going to be 3 episodes into this season. But, at least he doesn't know about Oliver's secret yet. He just knows Felicity's working with him. But, I don't like it. I don't necessarily dislike it either, though. So it's just kind of information for now. Couple of theories going forward, though. Felicity is getting some sort of weird encrypted messaging on her phone. It's kind of... It makes me wonder if like I said, I know Ray Palmer's still alive. It does kind of beg the question, where is he now? What if this is a message from him? Because at the end it shows up Felicity on this whatever. So, not sure where he is, but maybe he's the one sending this encoded messaging. Another theory going forward as far as kind of the overall story for our main characters. I feel like Thea's story is going to resolve itself, and either she's going to finally find just. I feel like she's going to kill Malcolm, and that's going to release her bloodlust, because he talked about how she needs to kill the one that hurt her. I think in a weird connecting of the dots way, she's going to kill Malcolm, and he's going to be considered the one that hurt her because of everything he did to her, which caused Raish to attack her. In the end, that's going to be what relieves her of her bloodlust. I don't know. That's me speculating. It seems like that's what they're going to do, because either that or she's the one that dies, and that grave was hers, because I can't imagine that she's going to live with this bloodlust for the rest of this season. I figure at some point it's going to be fixed. Whether it's halfway through the season or at the end of the season, I don't know, but I feel like one of those two endings is going to happen. Either she's going to die or she's going to kill somebody that's going to be considered the object of her rage or whatever. Um, so, overall, I gotta say, still enjoyed some of the stuff on this episode, but still not enjoying other stuff. It really is hard to say how frustrated and yet happy I am at the same time. It's weird for the show. It's the only show that I go into, in every episode I've got this perfect mixture of I enjoy it, but I'm also frustrated. Like, no other show does that. Either I mostly enjoy it and there are a few frustrating things, or I'm all the way frustrated, but there are a few enjoyable things here and there. I've never had one be so perfectly matched as far as enjoying and frustrated. It's weird. It's hard to understand this show and what it's doing to my emotions right now, but that's pretty much what I think of it. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. What you thought of this episode. Obviously, if you're watching later, no spoilers, as always. But leave a like and subscribe for more Arrow content, and I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.